Because Charlemagne gets their audience.
Yeah.
It's a great look for Charlemagne. Charlemagne comes down, he slaps the shit out of both of them.
Yeah.
He does what we all want to see.
It was well deserved.
Sure.
That was probably his best donkey of the day.
It was a great donkey of the day. You're about justice. I see that you keep seeing deserved. So you're about justice. The world ain't just.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
But doesn't mean
the world ain't just.
She should be put in a place on live TV. I'm not mad at that.
I know you're not, because you live in a world of deserve or do not deserve, but it's much more nuance than that, man. Entertainment is much more nuanced.
That's a fact.
He should have kept it with the stay in your lane shit.
Stay in your lane is great.
It's great.
I love that line.
Love stay in your lane.
He should have never
Stay in your
acknowledged
lane.
her.
How do you feel about the racial component to it? Do you feel
Everybody's
like there's a
playing
racial
their
component?
cards, bro. It's all it is cards. It's genius.
Do you see it though? Do you see a racial component? It's just a female trying to.
I see a gender component. I don't really see racial. I just see gender, and then
definitely a gender.
Race was entered. Charlemagne put race into it, and especially when talking about
the Emmett Till.
with the Emmett Till thing, and then Whitlock tapped into that as well, and now they're going to bump horns. Now, here's the thing about Whitlock. Whitlock is in a tough situation, right? And it's a tough situation for all black people. You're not allowed to disagree with the collective black conscious.
I don't even think he identifies himself as a black man.
No, he's Uncle Tom for sure.
Fair. He's a what?
Uncle Tom.
He's Uncle Tom. Fair enough.
Sure.
Now, some of his statements that he said that Charlemagne even disagree with, I actually, or at least one of them, I actually agree with. And it's his LeBron James, Donald Trump analogy.
Go ahead. I didn't hear it. Go ahead. I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
The statement was, when they were talking about privilege, and Donald Trump has this privilege because he was given all this money, comes from wealth. He was given all this money to start his businesses. That's the only reason he's as wealthy as he is today. And he was like, LeBron James has just as much athletic privilege as Donald Trump had wealth privilege, or whatever that is. Now, I actually agree with this because I've said it before. LeBron James is incredibly privileged. He's the most gifted human being in terms of his genetics in the world.
How are we comparing that to wealth, though?
Because
I don't understand.
It equates to wealth in the first world. When you're the most gifted physical human in the world, and you play basketball, you become a billionaire doing it. Right? You can't have that because you don't have those gifted genetics. I can't do that because I don't have those gifted genetics.
His life wasn't always like that, though.
Whose was it?
LeBron.
His entire life.
Not entire life.
His entire life, he's been a gifted athlete.
That's true. That's a fact.
He hasn't been a privileged athlete.
He still
all
lives
his life.
Donald Trump hasn't been a billionaire his entire life.
LeBron James was dunking basketballs and still living in the projects.
Sure.
Donald Trump was still wealthy all his life. He
wasn't a billionaire.
He was still wealthy.
But he wasn't a billionaire.
Billionaire and wealthy, that's still pretty much like the same thing.
Yeah, but what are we arguing here? That's what I'm trying to understand.
We're trying to argue that it's not the same. You can't. It's not comparable.
No, I agree.
Donald Trump has been wealthy all his life.
It's not the same at all. LeBron James is more privileged than Donald Trump.
I don't think so.
Undeniably so.
Privilege has to do with race and financial wealth.
Why?
To me.
No. Because the only argument I know.
Real quick. You can't chop up the argument into sections that you want to discuss. Privilege is a thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
For example, some people are white and they have cancer and they're born with it and they die. Are they privileged?
I think if you're white, you're privileged. Period.
So you
Whether
think
have cancer
a
or not.
child that's white that is born with cancer and dies before he's one is more privileged than you?
That's circumstantial, though.
That is
the motherfucker got cancer.
No.
Yeah.
Just answer the question.
Because he has cancer.
So no, he's not, right?
Yeah.
So now we acknowledge that there's different levels to privilege.
There is different levels.
So LeBron is more privileged than you or less?
He's more privileged.
Why?
Even his kids.
Huh?
Why?
Because he has way more money in his athleticism and his stardom.
But
and
he
everything.
grew up in the projects. Did you grow up in the projects?
No, I don't have his gift.
But did you grow up in the projects?
No. I grew up in the hood, but not in the projects.
But you didn't grow up in the projects like him?
No.
Okay, so
I
you
probably
more
had better
privileges?
Circumstances than him.
So you were like Trump. So you had better circumstances than him.
No, Trump had people to give him loans. I can't. Let me say this.
This
This is where I agree with. This is where I disagree with you.
All I'm
This is
trying
where
to
I disagree
prove
with
is
you right
there's
now. So what
nuance to
happens
this.
if LeBron breaks his leg? Before he goes to the NBA, what happens to his life then?
What happens if Donald Trump does a business deal where he loses everything?
And
Same
then he
exact
can call
thing.
one of his friends. I need $100 million.
And LeBron can go to the doctor, let his leg heal, and then continue to make millions of dollars.
Stop it.
Yo, he's right. Yo.
No, that's
Paul
not
George.
true. I said if he breaks
Paul George is going to make $201 million next year after a broken leg.
This is what I'm trying. If something happens to LeBron physically, right?
Right.
Let's say he fucking loses a leg. He's not privileged anymore. Donald Trump can lose money and always get a loan.
That's not true.
That has happened before.
You can go broke. Absolutely. Ask Vin Baker.
Vin
You can be a
Baker is a
millionaire
fucking
and go
idiot.
broke.
Only point I give
Vin Baker's working at Starbucks in Boston.
He's
Only
an
point I give
idiot.
you though with the whole privilege thing, when it comes to being an athlete,
I still disagree with you.
when it comes to being an athlete as far as being privileged, the only reason why I agree with you 100%, he's as privileged as Trump. With the
There's no
argument,
way.
Let me say why.
There's no
Let me say
way.
why.
You're acting like Whitlock right now. Go
O.J.
ahead.
Simpson was not an average African American athlete. O.J. Simpson was the best athlete in the world. O.J. Simpson, you remember the fucking show?
Yeah, what about it?
After the whole chase on the highway, he got to talk to his mom, and they told him, "Hey, man, we got to put the cuffs on you now."
Yeah, they were kind of.
Any other nigga, they would have killed him. There would be no chase on the highway, news following you. He was privileged. But he was the best at what he was doing at the time.
There's levels to privilege, though.
That's what he just
my
said.
argument.
That's what he said.
And there's levels to privilege.
But what I'm saying is, as far as him being athletic, if he gets hurt, it's over.
Real quick, there's levels
But
of
right
privilege.
now he is.
There's levels of privilege within whiteness, right?
Yeah, correct.
So, like Donald Trump is clearly more privileged than me in some ways, right?
course.
There's levels to privilege within blackness, right?
Yep.
There's levels to privilege within gender. Like,
Correct.
Ugly women have no privilege. Ugly women don't have. There's nothing worse than being an ugly woman, right? That's the worst thing that you can be in society. Now, being in
I know he wants to talk about dark skinned women, but we're not going to do that.
I don't talk about
dark skin,
color
light skin. We're
complexion.
not even talking.
But
I'm not into that.
there's definitely levels to privilege.
But my point is, like, a beautiful woman, you could argue, is the most privileged person on the planet. I've never seen a broke beautiful woman. A beautiful woman is one date away from being married to a billionaire or
that's a
millionaire
fact.
at any point in time. Beautiful. That's why beautiful women don't go to these marches. That's why beautiful women don't understand feminism, right? Because they're like, life is great. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. A lot of times, women are fighting for ugly women's rights. I know this is. They're not fighting for women's rights. They're fighting for ugly women's rights because being an ugly woman is a disadvantage to society. And they're like statistical analysis about this. No group of people is treated worse and given less opportunity, makes less money than ugly people. Being an ugly person is worse than any
that means you don't want to
minority
be
in
an
America.
ugly black woman either.
Sure,
That's the worst one.
So check it.
That's the worst one.
Fucked up.
So check
That's
it, right?
fucked up.
But just by that acknowledgement, right? We're acknowledging that there are different things and there are different situations that you can be in, right? So all I'm saying is, if we adjust some of the levers, you could have a black man that is more privileged than a white man. You could have a black woman that is more privileged than a white woman, depending on which levers we push. This beautiful black woman is going to be more privileged than this ugly white woman. We acknowledge that, right? Circumstantial. Everything is circumstantial. There's many different levers to press. That's all I'm saying. So I understood Whitlock's argument with that. Absolutely.
Come on, man. After that, he was caping for the white girl.
That was an
Definitely
old
caping.
argument.
Definitely caping.
No. That Whitlock thing was an old argument.
Okay.
But the problem and the tough thing about being black in America, there's many, but one of the tough things is anytime that your opinions go against the collective black conscience, right? You are at risk of being looked at as an Uncle Tom.
I agree with that.
So you might have a viewpoint about black people in America that's different than the black caucus, if you will, right? And if you do something later in your life that's fucked up, what are they gonna go for? Hey, remember that one time? Where you said
dated
that
the white
fucked
girl
up shit and you were dating white women?
Listen, I can show them that I am a nigga. Trust me, I approve. It's documented. Listen, it don't matter. I can defend myself. Trust me. I got a catalog, man. Fuck out of here. They can't take that away from me.
Yo. Speaking of sports, I gotta ask you this question.
Sure.
Because I seen some shit on YouTube one time. No, not YouTube. I forgot where it was. You know the internet. Niggas be bored. Nobody reads books anymore.
I know, it's so bad.
You are.
Oh, I am reading a book. Listen.
Gotta read Black Privilege. Read Black Privilege.
Here we go. Talk shit.
This motherfucker hasn't read a book in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's tweeting about this fucking. He wants Charlamagne to fucking retweet him.
Here we go.
So he's walking around with this Black Privilege book. He even brought it with him here. I don't know if he wanted you to sign it.
I was on the car, right?
He might give it to you for Charlamagne to sign it, whatever. Like, dude, stop it. If you read books, you don't have to show it like that. This is your first read in 5 years.
That's
All right,
fucked
just
up.
stop it, yo.
That's fucked up.
He has this book right now. This book is here.
Hey, yo, listen.
You're not Charlemagne.
Listen,
The book is here, and he did not read it on the way here.
I'm the closest
Stop
he's
it.
gonna get, man.
This is what going to the club right now, and not a bone
There
will
you
have
go.
Charlemagne's book. Like, okay,
Listen,
wow,
I like
you
reading the
read.
fucking book. It's an easy read. He don't have too much fucking big words. Even though I have
go
a
on
college
Vlad
degree.
TV. I
Listen,
read
we're not
it.
even talking about that shit. He's just being a hater because I want to read a fucking book. Man.
I mean, when you think about Charlemagne, got a lot of. I think it's a great book. I think it's a great idea, and Charlemagne got a lot of shit from certain people who kind of pimp victimhood, and because he's attacking their brand.
The name is genius.
It's great.
It's a great, like, by the name itself, you're getting, like,